Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Now, I'm recording this video on Monday night. You are watching this on the Tuesday, and I absolutely hate recording these videos on a Monday because it's guaranteed I'm going to miss something between now and posting this video, which is why I've posted it a little bit earlier than I normally do. I'm out tomorrow night to watch the France-Belgium semi-final, and then obviously I'll be out to watch the England-Croatia on Wednesday. So this is the only chance I had to do it, but there is some good news and there is a reason why I am wearing this top today, and it's because Newcastle have officially announced the new away jersey for the upcoming season, and it's basically a remake of this 95-96 season shirt. A lot of people are very happy with the new away strip, and that's me included. I don't think it looks as good as this one, but I think it looks great. I think it looks great with the stripes and then the gold on the front. The number on the back is going to be white from what I've heard. So yeah, I think it's going to look really good. I think there's going to be a lot of people wearing the away shirt this season. Some more fantastic news is Kenedy is due to have a medical in Newcastle today. It's thought to be a loan signing rather than a permanent signing, but we saw how good he was last year, and although I'd love to get him in on a permanent, I'm happy to take him on loan as well, because if he can play like he did last season in the upcoming season, even as a loan, that is a fantastic signing for us. So by the time you watch this video, it might have even happened. Don't know if it would have been quite announced yet, but fingers crossed. If it hasn't been announced when you're watching this, it will be announced very soon. So yeah, very, very happy about that. Obviously, we brought in Dubravka right at the start of the season. Key came in on a free transfer, and now Kenedy is looking very likely to be signing on a loan. The players have now officially returned for pre-season training along with Rafa Benitez. I'm sure you've seen a lot of photos going around over the players getting to the training ground, and it's actually exactly a week today we play our first friendly over in Ireland versus St. Patrick's. So the World Cup finishes on Sunday, and then the season is really getting started. So fingers crossed, Kenedy will come in on that loan. Permanent would be fantastic, but it's looking like it's going to be a loan. But yeah, things are getting started. Pre-season has started. Friendly in a week's time. And we are still linked with transfers in and out. So I thought for today's video, I'd do a bit of a recap on where we're standing with certain players. Moving from the top of the pitch down to the bottom, looking like they are going out is still Mitro. Still no news on him. It's still looking likely that he will be leaving the club, hopefully for 20 million plus. Obviously with Fulham being the front runners, the club he was on loan to last season. Mitrovic wasn't spotted at pre-season training, but it's thought that him and Key have both been given an extended rest after the World Cup. So we're just going to have to monitor what happens there. Gale is still getting interest from Stoke, so we'll have to see what happens with that one. As for players coming in, we are still linked with Plea. I mentioned him in the last video. They want around 27 million for him, and it's still unsure whether Newcastle are going to be willing to meet that price tag. Other teams are very interested in him as well, so we'll have to see what happens there. As for midfielders, I mentioned this again last week. Richie is still linked with Stoke. He was at pre-season training, so he is back in Newcastle. Apparently we have set a price tag of 15 million. Rafa is very happy to keep him, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are, as well as me. And if Stoke fail to meet that 15 million, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Other players currently at the club who are still linked to leave, Lazar and Colback are both back in Newcastle, but have been asked to train with the under-23s. Especially Colback, who's on a pretty high wage at Newcastle. Really looking to let him go this summer. Another midfielder linked to go is Mikel Merino, after Real Sociedad have supposedly met his £10 million release clause to leave the club. Now, he wasn't spotted at pre-season training, so it's thought that that move is looking more and more likely. Midfielders coming in, I've said it already, Kenedy is linked with that loan move to us, hopefully very shortly. What happens if Kenedy does come in on loan is that will actually prevent the loan signing of Loftus-Cheek. We are only allowed to bring in that one loan player from Chelsea, and if it's looking like that's Kenedy, it will stop the potential of having Loftus-Cheek in on a loan. Ideally, I'd love to see us get Kenedy in on a permanent and then Loftus-Cheek in on a loan, but Kenedy on a loan, I mean, I'm still very happy with that. Townsend is linked back to us again. Obviously, he was a Newcastle player. He's been linked back to us in the past, and apparently he's linked with us again. Crystal Palace supposedly wants 17 million for him. And although I think he is a very decent player, you're going to have to let me know down below whether you think he's worth that 17 million. And one thing to pick up on while we're discussing the midfielders is we are still looking for that number 10 in midfield. There hasn't really been much transfer news or rumours on a number 10, so I'm very interested to see what pops up for that in the next couple of weeks. Moving into defenders, Mbemba still looks set to leave for Porto, but there's still a sticking point on price. Supposedly they're offering us around 5 million and we want closer to 8.5 million, so although he looks set to leave, it's really just the pricing that seems to be holding things up there. And as for defenders coming in, I think it's very important that we look to strengthen the fullback positions at the moment. No real news on right backs or left backs. Obviously we've got Yedlin on the right, Dummer on the left. Manquillo is the kind of both. I suppose Clark can play left, Hayden could fill in at fullback if we needed to, but I'm hoping that's a position we're going to look to strengthen again in the coming weeks. And as for goalkeeper, obviously we signed Dubravka, very happy about that, but a goalkeeper we are still looking to let go is Sells. Again, similar to Mbemba, he's been in talks with Anderlecht, looked like a dead cert to leave, but he is now back at Newcastle after not being able to agree funds between Newcastle and Anderlecht. So there's still a few players in there who look like they should be going out the door. Sells, Mbemba, Colback, but just meeting the right fees before we can let them go. And one final mention before the end of this video is that the Newcastle Fan TV channel and the Magpie Channel are hosting a charity football match in aid of the Bobby Robson Foundation. The Magpie Channel actually asked me to get involved with their side. It's on the 22nd of July, so provided my ankle doesn't give up like it always does, it'll be a good game and a great day. And they have a GoFundMe page, so I'll leave the link to that down in the description if you want to go and donate towards the Bobby Robson Foundation. But as always guys, thank you for watching. Great news about the away shirt and even better news about Kenedy. Hopefully by the time you watch this video it might have already happened. Things don't always work that quick, but I'd absolutely love it if it can happen in the next day or so. If I've missed any news you wanted me to cover, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series, and fingers crossed for England versus Croatia on Wednesday. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Catch you later.